Hello, folks. Today I wanted to go over a project that I recently created for a client that needed a session scheduler. So I've started with a sheet. I'm going to actually rename this sheet. I'll call this sheet dates. And these are the dates that the client told me they had to offer schedules. What we wanted to do was using a Google form, we want a list of dates that are available for clients to choose from. And as the client chooses those dates, then the form automatically updates and removes that. So it's sort of like a choice eliminator. I'd like to convert this into we'll take a set of rows here. Let's convert this into a format. Let's convert this into a table. The reason I want to do that is I want to use this feature of tables. I want this to be a date column so I can automatically choose a date. And then what I would want to do with my times is I don't want my times I want this to just be plain text in this column here. And the reason I wanted to do this, I want to be able to choose a date. So let's say my client told me they could work on Mondays. So, okay, on July 1st and on July 1st, they maybe would have three different sessions. Let's set up this times actually. I'm going to set up this times as I'm going to set this up as a drop down. And my options are going to be 1 p.m. That's an I. Let me fix that. Now I finished out that conditional format rule. Let's go ahead and take a look at that again, or drop down. So these are the ones that the client told me that were available on these Mondays. So let's go ahead and choose an 11 a.m. and let's go back on the first and we'll choose an 11:45. We're just going to randomly choose some dates that we thought might have been available. So let's say those three dates are available. Now what we need is to create a column that concatenates this data into a single date and time right here. And it needs to be a text date and time. So this formula, I'm turning into text A2, which is a date, and the time value of B2. And we're going to format that as text with this MMD, so month, day, year, hour, minute, AM, PM. Okay, so let me go ahead and copy these down. And you can see where we have those copied down, we have a value error. We could get rid of that, but really what we want to do here is just create all the dates that my client told me that we could have an actual date. So I have filled out now my table with the dates and times that my client told me they would be able to do some actual work. Now, what I need to do now is create a form that would show me in column what's called column one here, and I think I'll rename this to the chosen columns. But first, we need a form. So let me pause and create a quick form. So you can see here I have made my session scheduler. It's a simple session scheduler. You're just looking for the client's name, their email address, and then the list of sessions that are available to choose from. And that's just the list that I basically copied from here and pasted to there. Okay, so let's now create our spreadsheet. And we're not going to create a new sheet because we already have one. So we'll select a sheet to send this to. And I have my session scheduler, so I'll go ahead and send my form responses over to the session scheduler. And of course, that opened up a double copy of it. So here we go. I have, first of all, my dates. And then second, I have my session scheduler. Well, let's go ahead and put some data in there. We have to publish this, and I'm going to go ahead and set this up that um, basically anybody could fill this out and say done to that, and then I'll go ahead and publish, and then I should be able to copy the responder link, shorten it, copy it, and now I can actually fill out a quick session. So I'm going to put in my name, Tim Welch, and then we'll spell it correctly. Email address, Twelch at webhand.com. And then I want to schedule July 1st. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I should have a row of data, and as you can see, we do. So now I can use my dates column. This was the one thing I needed to do here. I need to put in a formula here that'll show me what's been chosen from column one and what remains. So let me go ahead and grab those formulas because I already have them. So let's take a look at the formulas that we are using. We've renamed this column D to chosen dates. And in here, we're using this formula. I will zoom in. We're using sort unique, and then we're going back to the table that's on the form response sheet. And so we're using the new table format. Form responses, choose your session. So we're basically pulling the data from here, and we're sorting it in alphabetical order so we can see a list of those dates. That would be how we get our chosen dates. Now, the remaining dates is a filter. We're filtering everything we see on C2C, and if it's a match with what we see on D2D, we're going to just bring in the ones that are is NA. So let's take a look at that and see what that would look like. And if we didn't use the is NA, we could just go, okay, let's do a filter on the match and see what we pull back. If you just do a match, you get these, the same list that you have here. But if you use the is NA, then you get everything that's not in this list. And then we have this list of remaining objects. Okay, so let's review real quickly. So we have set up a set of dates. We've created some formulas to create these dates. We've added all those dates to the form. That's here. You can see we've put them all on the form. And then we have submitted a few. We can then, on our dates, look at what has been chosen from the form response tab. And this is what's remaining. So our next step is to write some app script that will update the form with this column whenever a form is submitted. So as soon as a form is submitted, it's going to automatically replace this set with that. So let's see what that app script looks like. So I started it with ChatGPT. I have found these days it's easiest to just create a prompt and let ChatGPT do the writing for me and then test out the script, see if it works, modify it if necessary. So I had just basically put in this prompt where I wanted, in column E of a tab named dates, I want an app script that will update the form, item name choose your session on the form, with the data that's in here. So let's see what that ended up looking like. I'll go ahead and copy this script, and then we'll come here to our session. We will open up app script. We haven't set up app script yet. And we always start by naming this update form. Or you know what, this is going to contain some other scripts, so I'm just going to call this our scheduler. Because we're going to have some other scripts doing some other things. So I have this new script. I'm going to do a Command A on my Mac to highlight everything, and a Command V, and there is my session list. Let's go ahead, save that, and let's go ahead and run it. Let's see what happens. And while that's running, first of all, it's going to cause me to authorize. And in a moment, let me just go back here. So I'm expecting it to, just start at July 8th at 2:30, and right now it starts at July 1. So I'm expecting some of these to go away, those first four. So we'll come back to the sheet. Here we're going to review permissions. I'm going to authorize the script to run. I'm going to select everything that it's asking me to do, and I'm going to let it run. It's started. Yep. Hey, looks like it got completed. So it looked like that script from ChatGPT worked. Let's go ahead and take a look at the form. Sure enough, it has updated the form so that now I have that set up. So the next step I need to do is I need to go to my trigger, and I need to add a new trigger where I am doing this update your session list. We're going to do that on form submit. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And now with that trigger set, when we get that finished, well, it looks like we have to authorize that trigger. And it says okay, so I'm going to allow that. And there we go. We have a trigger set up. So we have our first script set up, and we have our trigger set up. Let's give it a test and see what happens if we were to run this another time. So here is I'm just going to do some real quick blah, blah, blahs. And by the way, this needed to update because we had run the script. I'm going to get rid of this July 8th. I'm going to go ahead and submit. Let's go back over here. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. Yep, there's our July 8th at 2:30. So right now we have basically used up all of these. These are the ones remaining. Let's see if that updated our sheet. Sure enough, there's our July 15th. So next person comes in and does the scheduler, and you can see now we've got the July 15th, and we'll go ahead and submit. And let's take a look. Okay, so sometimes it takes a moment for these to populate. There it is. July 15th is in there, and July 15th at 11 is gone. And here's our responses, and we see the responses, we see the dates, we see the updated list. Let's see now if our list is July 15th at 11:45, and sure enough. So we got that part working just fine. So then I went back over to ChatGPT. I gave a little prompt, said I want to send an email to the people and also to the provider. And so I got this script back. And then also, let's take a look at that. So here is this script. I wanted to send an email and I needed to just put in this information, copied that script. And then I wanted to do a calendar update as well. So I went ahead and again went back here to chat. And this, it talked about adding it to the calendar. This one I had to go back and forth with quite a bit with ChatGPT. You'll see a long list of us going back and forth, getting this exactly right. I won't go through all the details, but this is what happens when you ask ChatGPT for help, and then you don't get it exactly the way you want, or you want to modify it. So finally, I got this one worked out. Let's see what happens when we use this. So now here's my session scheduler. I'm going to put in a name here. Tim Welch, again, we'll use the same name. And this is Twelch at lgsd.us, another email address I have. Let's get it spelled correctly. Okay, and this time we want to schedule this one. Let's just say we want to schedule this one on July 9th, 2025. I'm going to go ahead and submit. Let's take a look again back over here, and we should have a new email. Yes, and this was the July 29. We see that that's working. Now I'm going to switch over to this other account I have, and I see here we have a July 29th. So Twelch at LGSD also got an email, and let's check and see July 29th session with Tim Welch, join with Google Meet, and so forth and so on, with the information that we have sent, all from this form. So again, in summary, we developed a form. We brought that information to the sheet. We have a system to remove dates automatically from the form. So for instance, the next date should be July 1 at 11:45, and also we should see that July 29 at 1 is gone. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. July 29 at 1 o'clock is gone, and so you can see this is updating. And then using AppScript, we have 3 app scripts, and we as a reminder, we had to run those and add those as triggers. And I had some errors I was cleaning up when I ran those executions to figure it out. But yes, we have 3 of those. Well, actually, and we set up the trigger. So hope this is helpful. It's a nice little system that should work pretty well for you.